Moby's very concise with his recording process. So he says, Lucy, you want to come over and sing on this song? And I said, okay. So he sent me the song like an hour before, or maybe a little less. And we just kind of sang it. It's pretty simple.
He had a pre-recording of him singing the vocal line. And off of that, there was a little bit of improvisation.
Ooh Yeah was a strange instrumental demo that I'd had sort of lying around for a few years. As we were getting ready to finish the record was basically done, and I rediscovered this old instrumental, and I thought that there was something to it, so I asked some friends of mine to sing on it, and ended up coming out a lot better than I thought it would, so that's why it got included on the record.
He's very flexible, but at the same time, he clearly knows what he wants, and can tell you if he doesn't like something in a very nice way.
I kind of got this happy, just forget about everything else for a minute vibe, and the way it opens up and the way the kind of the layers add to each other, it really gets me kind of in the mood by the, I don't know, after the first minute.
I wanted it to feel or be slightly reminiscent of like late 70s, early 80s sort of down-tempo disco. You know, the sort of thing that you would hear if you were to go over to like Halston's house in 1978 before going out to Studio 54.
Yo, I'm going back to the scene of the rhyme where I left off. Memories of MCs that I swept off the microphone with a brisk, swift motion. I hit him with a dosing. My potion was so sensational, effective. It worked like a charm, because my raps is on cue and my beats is the bomb. Therefore, you got a snowball in hell's chance to get with me.
On the song I Love to Move In Here, I wanted to have an old school rap element to it. So I started just thinking about who my sort of like old school rap heroes were, and Grandmaster Kaz was one of them. I had a really strange record that he had made with the 45 King. It was a record that when I DJ'd I used to play a lot. We just started asking around, does anyone know how to get in touch with Grandmaster Kaz?
I just got a call one day and they said that Moby was working on his new album and he was looking for, you know, an MC, which means you gotta go back, okay? Because there's nothing but rappers out here now today. I know there's gonna be a lot of anticipation, a lot of people looking forward to his next album, so I was honored that, you know, that he asked me to be a part of it.
Like the way his rap came around is I sent him the track and I thought he would write something for it, and he came into the studio and he said, okay, well, play me the song. And I guess he hadn't listened to it yet. And so he sat down in front of the speakers and in about 10 minutes had written out his rap.
It's easier for me to write right there on the spot. You know what I mean? Like if I think about it too much before then, it'll be an old thought to me once I get in the studio. Basically, I had like an idea of what I might want to do, and you know, because I had gotten a track prior to that. But once I got to his house and we sat down, I just scrapped everything I had done, got into a whole new vibe right there, and I just wrote the song right there. That's why I'm going back to the scene of the rhyme, to the scene of the rhyme. First I did one verse and he was like, yo, that's cool, you think you can do another one? Hey, no problem, give me 5 minutes. I went back in and did another one.
There was this period, sort of around the time when hip hop first started, but especially like the late 70s, early 80s, when hip hop was very disco influenced. You know, you had things like the Treacherous 3 and the Enjoy record label where it wasn't like hard gangster rap, it was all like fun, playful party rap. And the music was all very disco inspired.
Just to be able to go back into the partying area where it was just about making everybody dance and get on the floor, it was refreshing. The mic is sacred, blessed by the pages of lyrical madness and hardcore feedback. And if it ain't hip hop, then we don't need that.
I'm always a little hesitant to talk about my long involvement with the hip hop world because ultimately I'm a Caucasian kid from Connecticut. When I first started DJing in New York, I mainly played at hip hop clubs. And I'd always keep a microphone handy with me because you'd be playing records and then Big Daddy Kane would show up, or Run DMC would show up, or Third Bass, or Ultramagnetics. And if you had your microphone there, you could play instrumentals while they did freestyling. And so I had some amazing experiences with like fantastic rappers from the late 80s coming in and freestyling. And so including some hip hop tracks on this record, to me it's just a natural extension of the fact that I've been listening to hip hop for the last 26 years.
My name is Shayna Steele, and I'm singing on Moby's song Disco Lies. The actual recording process for the song was pretty easy. I was probably in there maybe at the most an hour. Very smooth, easy process. Working with him is a breeze.
I wanted it slightly to be reminiscent of like Paradise Garage with Larry Levan, or Tony Humphries, who used to play at this club called Zanzibar out in Newark. You know, with these like cold electronic elements, but again, like a very sort of impassioned diva vocal on top of it.
I definitely know he wanted an old school flavor for the song, like a 70s disco feel, which explains Disco Lies, right? So yeah, you know, going back to Don't Leave Me This Way.
Someone sent me Shayna's demo tape, and I just thought, like, what an amazing voice. You know, it sounds like she should have been making disco records in 1978, which to me is like the highest compliment I can ever pay a singer.
The dance scene of old, Studio 54, man, I wish I could have experienced that just once. They look like they had a great time, probably doing some crazy stuff, which doesn't mean that people don't do that stuff now, but everybody knew what was going on at Studio 54.
In a weird way, last night is, of all the records I've made, it's the one that has the least to do with me, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed making it so much. Because the last record I made was very self-involved, you know, to me playing all the instruments and me singing, and, you know, me singing songs that were very personal. And this album is ideally maybe a little bit less about me and a little bit more about just making a dance record that hopefully people will like.